The convent of Sant'Andrea was a place of tranquility and discipline, nestled among the green hills of an idyllic landscape. Life within its walls followed an unchanging routine, marked by the bells that signaled moments of prayer, work, and rest. It was a world apart, far from the clamor of modernity in the indiscreet spotlight of the outside world. But that tranquility was shattered by an image. Not a sacred image, not a work of religious art, nor an official photograph of the convent. It was a picture taken in a moment of absolute ordinariness, which ended up sparking an unexpected scandal. It all began during maintenance work in the convent's library. Long forgotten by both God and man, the library had caught the attention of Cardinal Lorenzo da Luca, a man of great culture and religious fervor, who had volunteered to oversee the restoration work. The cardinal, known for his love of ecclesiastical history, wanted to personally investigate the legend of a secret door, mentioned in the diaries of an ancient abbot, which was said to lead to a lost crypt. That day, the cardinal arrived accompanied by Sister Teresa, one of the most senior and respected nuns of the convent, and Sister Anna, a young and dynamic novice with infectious enthusiasm. The task seemed simple, to move a heavy wooden cabinet that obstructed a suspicious wall. No one could have imagined that this innocent gesture would lead to such a scandal. The library was suffocating, the air thick with dust that rose with every slight movement. Sister Anna wiped her sweaty forehead with her hand, gazing uncertainly at the imposing cabinet before her. "This thing must weigh a ton," she remarked with a strained smile. "Don't exaggerate," replied Cardinal Lorenzo with a patient tone as he rolled up the sleeves of his cassock. "With a bit of effort, we'll manage to move it. After all, this isn't the first obstacle we've faced, is it, Sister Teresa?" The elderly nun, who was examining an old dusty diary, looked up and smiled. "Cardinal, if there were a competition for optimism, you'd win hands down. This cabinet looks more like a monolith." After a brief discussion, they decided to give it a try anyway. The cardinal and Sister Anna positioned themselves on opposite sides of the cabinet, while Sister Teresa gave instructions on where to push. The task took longer than expected, the piece of furniture seemed almost embedded in the floor, and each push produced a sinister creaking that echoed through the room. "A bit more strength, Anna," the cardinal urged, leaning forward to try and exert more force. At that very moment, the unexpected happened. One of the workers laboring in the convent courtyard entered to inform them that they were about to cut the electricity. Seeing the scene, the cardinal bent over the cabinet, seemingly very close to Sister Anna, with a focused expression and an awkward posture. The man made what seemed like an innocent gesture. He snapped a photo with his phone. "Apologies for the interruption, Your Eminence, sisters," he said quickly, hiding the phone. "I'll go shut down the generator." No one paid much attention to that moment. They were too focused on their task. With one final effort, they finally managed to move the cabinet, revealing a section of wall with strange carvings. A small slit, resembling a frame, suggested that the secret door was indeed real. "Incredible," murmured the cardinal, approaching the wall. "The diary wasn't lying. Now we just need to figure out how to open it." But while the group immersed themselves in the new mystery, something entirely different was happening outside. The photo taken by the worker, with a misleading angle and no context, ended up almost immediately in a local chat group. A friend of the worker, struck by the apparent intimacy between the cardinal and the young nun, shared the image with an ironic comment: "Modern convents. What sins are hidden behind sacred walls?" From there, the spread was unstoppable. First private chats, then social media. Within hours, the image went viral. The cardinal bent over, with his face seemingly close to Sister Anna's and his hands outstretched toward her, was interpreted as an intimate gesture. Social media headlines grew increasingly sensationalist. The cardinal and the nun, forbidden love behind the walls. Scandal in the convent, what are they really hiding? Within hours, the news reached journalists. The usually serene gates of the convent were besieged by TV crews and photographers. The other nuns, frightened and bewildered, avoided the windows, while the Cardinal and Sister Anna were summoned by the Mother Superior for explanations. Sister Anna was distraught. "Mother, I don't understand. We were just moving a cabinet. We didn't do anything wrong." The Mother Superior stared at her with a piercing gaze. "You may not have done anything wrong, Anna. But that photo tells a different story, and the outside world trusts what it sees more than what is true." Cardinal Lorenzo, seated next to them, nodded gravely. "Mother, I can personally testify that nothing inappropriate happened. But we must handle this situation wisely. The damage to the convent's and the church's reputation could be immense. The incident was becoming something much larger than themselves. But no one, not even the accusers, could have imagined that behind that compromising photo lay a deeper mystery, that of the newly discovered secret door. The convent of Sant'Andrea, long a place of peace and prayer, was now under siege. Television crews crowded at the gates, journalists shouted questions at every nun who dared to step outside, and social media was flooded with speculation. The photo of Cardinal Lorenzo and Sister Anna had been interpreted in increasingly bold ways, transforming from a simple image into a scandalous narrative that seemed unstoppable. "This is absurd," repeated Sister Anna in her room, pacing back and forth with a face marked by frustration. "Nothing inappropriate happened, yet they treat us as if we're guilty of some terrible sin." Sitting beside her, Sister Teresa tried to calm her. "I know, Anna. But the outside world loves gossip more than the truth. And that photo, well, it seems to suggest something wrong, even though we know it doesn't." "We must do something," interjected Cardinal Lorenzo, entering the room with a determined stride. "We can't let this lie spread unchecked." Anna looked at him with a mix of hope and apprehension. "And what do you suggest, Your Eminence? If we speak out, they'll think we're trying to hide something. If we stay silent, we feed the suspicion." The Cardinal sat down, resting his elbows on his knees. "There's only one thing we can do: uncover what's behind that secret door. The truth of our mission will cast a different light on this entire scandal. If we can prove we were there for an important reason, perhaps we can break this toxic narrative." The discovery of the secret door, which had occurred at the exact moment the photo was taken, had been overshadowed by the media chaos. But for Cardinal Lorenzo and the two nuns, that door represented not only a key to a historical mystery but also a means to save the reputation of the convent and the church itself. The wall behind the cabinet, now exposed, revealed an ancient engraving, a seal with a stylized cross surrounded by symbols that appeared to belong to an ancient ecclesiastical language. The slit in the wall suggested an opening, but no one knew how to activate it. "We can't force it," said Sister Teresa, carefully examining the details. "We risk damaging something precious. What if there's a hidden mechanism?" Anna suggested, running her fingers along the edges of the slit. "Maybe something that requires a specific object to open it." The Cardinal nodded. "It could be an ancient secret passage. It wouldn't be uncommon in convents of this era. But we need more information. Teresa, can you look through the historical records? Anna, help me study this engraving. Every detail might be important." While the group focused on the secret door, the outside world continued to explode with curiosity and outrage. Hashtags related to "the Cardinal and the nun" went viral, and even some television programs began covering the story. Speculation ranged from forbidden relationships to alleged conspiracies within the church. Inside the convent, the Mother Superior found herself in an increasingly delicate position. She was a woman of faith and discipline, but also of profound intelligence. She knew that silence would not hold for much longer. "Cardinal Lorenzo," she said one day, summoning him to her office, "I cannot ignore what is happening. Our community is in danger. If this story continues to spread, it could destroy everything we've built." Lorenzo nodded, maintaining his composure. "Mother, I promise you that we will soon have an answer. The secret door is the key to all of this. Once we discover what it hides, we can prove that our work was dedicated to a far greater cause. And if the door reveals nothing of significance, the Mother Superior asked, a thread of doubt in her voice. The Cardinal paused, then responded firmly. Then we will find another way to protect this convent. But I will not stop seeking the truth. Meanwhile, in the library, Anna and Teresa continued their search for clues. It was Anna who made a crucial discovery. Flipping through an old book that had been on top of the cabinet they had just moved, she found a cryptic reference: "The key of silence is hidden in the light." What does it mean? She wondered aloud, showing the phrase to the Cardinal. The key of silence, could it be a clue to opening the door? The Cardinal pondered, observing the wall with fresh eyes. Perhaps it refers to sunlight. If the passage is hidden, it might only open at a specific hour, when light strikes a particular point. Their intuition proved correct. After hours of study and attempts, they discovered that a ray of sunlight, filtered through a small window high above, illuminated a specific symbol on the wall only at sunset. Pressing that symbol, they heard a click. With a dull rumble, the wall slowly opened, revealing a hidden passage. Behind the door was a stone staircase descending into darkness. The air was thick with humidity, and the scent of antiquity filled their nostrils. "This is extraordinary," Teresa whispered. "It must be the lost crypt the diary spoke of." But their enthusiasm was soon interrupted by a noise coming from outside. Someone was trying to enter the library. The door burst open, and two men with cameras appeared, ready to capture whatever was happening. "What is this place?" one of the journalists shouted. "Are you trying to hide something here?" The Cardinal stood up, imposing his authority. "You have entered a sacred place without permission. You will leave immediately." But by now, the discovery of the secret crypt was no longer a secret. The outside world was about to learn everything. The secret crypt beneath the convent of Sant'Andrea seemed to hold more than just history. As Cardinal Lorenzo, Sister Anna, and Sister Teresa gazed at the dark passage opening before them, a cold draught hit them, carrying the scent of ancient stone and mystery. But the moment was interrupted by the intrusion of the journalists. Their cameras were pointed at everything: the secret door, the surprised face of the Cardinal, and the nuns beside him. "Cardinal Lorenzo," shouted one of the reporters, pushing forward. "Does this secret passage have anything to do with the scandal everyone's been talking about? Are you hiding something?" Lorenzo approached calmly, asserting his presence. "You are violating the sanctity of this place. I ask you to leave immediately." "But this is a historic discovery, isn't it?" insisted another journalist. "The public has the right to know what's down there." Before the situation could escalate further, the Mother Superior arrived, accompanied by two police officers summoned to manage the growing crowd of journalists. "This convent is private property," she declared firmly. "Please leave immediately, or we will be forced to take legal action." The crew reluctantly withdrew. But the damage was done. A cameraman had managed to capture a shot of the passage, and news of the discovery spread quickly. The web exploded with new theories: the secret passage of the convent, what secrets is the church hiding? The original scandal had now intertwined with this new narrative, creating a vortex of curiosity and sensationalism. Inside the convent, the group gathered in the library to decide their next steps. The Mother Superior was visibly shaken. "Cardinal Lorenzo, this situation is now out of control. Even if we discover something significant in this crypt, the world out there won't wait for an explanation. They will believe what they want." Lorenzo nodded, his face grave. "I understand, Mother. But that's precisely why we must see this through to the end. The truth, whatever it may be, is the only thing that can quell these rumors." "I'm coming with you," declared Sister Anna with a resolute gaze. "I must do this. I can't let my name be tarnished without a fight." Sister Teresa nodded. "And I won't let you face this alone." With torches in hand, the group began their descent into the crypt. The staircase was steep and slippery but solid. Each step echoed in the damp silence of the underground. After a few minutes, they reached a larger room, illuminated by their flickering lights. The walls were adorned with faded frescoes depicting religious scenes, saints, crosses, and symbols of martyrdom. "This is extraordinary," murmured Lorenzo, approaching one of the walls. "These frescoes seem to date back to the early Christian period. This place might have been a refuge for persecuted early Christians." Anna observed an altar at the center of the room, covered in dust. On top of it was an ancient book, protected by a cracked glass case. "Look," she exclaimed, pointing to the object. Lorenzo approached, studying the book carefully. "This might be a liturgical manuscript. If it contains information about this place, it could help us understand its significance." As they examined the manuscript, another sound caught their attention. It came from a corner of the room, where a small passage led to another area of the crypt. Cautiously, they ventured further, discovering another smaller, darker chamber. In the center stood a stone sarcophagus adorned with inscriptions that appeared to be in Latin. Sister Teresa, well versed in the ancient language, stepped closer to read. "Here lies Brother Innocent, martyr of the faith," she read aloud. "He holds the secret of the divine light." Anna turned to the Cardinal. "What does it mean? Who was Brother Innocent?" Lorenzo shook his head. "I don't know this name. But if he was a martyr, he might have played an important role in the early church. This sarcophagus could be a historical and spiritual treasure of inestimable value." As they emerged from the crypt, they carried with them the manuscript and photographic documentation of the frescoes and the sarcophagus. They decided to involve diocesan historians to further investigate the discovery, but first, they needed to address the outside world. The following day, Cardinal Lorenzo held a press conference outside the convent gates. Standing alongside Sister Anna and the Mother Superior, he addressed the journalists in a calm yet determined tone. "In recent days, images and accusations have circulated, casting shadows over my actions and those of Sister Anna. I would like to clarify that those images represented a moment of work and collaboration as we explored an important historical discovery in the convent of Sant'Andrea." With a composure that left everyone breathless, Lorenzo explained the discovery of the crypt and its potential historical significance. He showed some images of the frescoes and spoke about the manuscript, emphasizing the importance of preserving the site as a spiritual heritage. "Our goal has always been to serve truth and faith. Nothing that has happened here was driven by any other motivation." The press conference had a surprising effect. Many journalists, initially skeptical, were captivated by the discovery. Headlines on social media changed their tone, from alleged scandal to historical discovery, the secret of Sant'Andrea convent. Although speculation persisted in some corners of the web, the main narrative shifted toward the significance of the crypt. Anna, Lorenzo, and Teresa returned to their lives in the convent, knowing they had weathered a storm and emerged victorious. But within them, the discovery of Brother Innocent and the crypt marked the beginning of a new journey. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Let us know in the comments what you think. Would you have done the same in Sister Anna's place? Share the video with your friends. See you next time.